Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, we're jumping right into an absolute heavyweight matchup in the electric vehicle world today. On one side, we've got the reigning EV champion, the vehicle that basically completely redefined the modern automotive landscape. And on the other side, we have a highly sophisticated, formidable new challenger that is absolutely pulling no punches. We're talking about the brand new BYD Sealion 7 going head-to-head with the facelifted Tesla Model Y. I am incredibly excited to walk you through the data, the engineering, and the design behind these two machines. Let's get right into it.
So, the really crucial question we're exploring today is simply this. Can the Sealion 7 actually dethrone the Model Y? To fully grasp why this is such a massive question, we kind of have to look at the current landscape. You see, the Tesla Model Y didn't just do well recently. It was the UK's absolute best-selling electric car in 2024. It is the gold standard benchmark right now. But the arrival of the BYD Sealion 7 from China? Well, that isn't just another car launch. It's a highly calculated, strategic disruption, and it brings a completely different philosophy to the table to challenge Tesla's dominance.
This matchup really represents a massive clash of philosophies. BYD's approach is what the data calls all-inclusive tech. They're leaning heavily into a premium-first, traditional luxury experience. It's all about giving you absolutely everything right out of the box. Tesla, on the other hand, well, their core DNA is minimalistic efficiency. They treat the car like an ecosystem-driven, sleek mobile computing device. These two vehicles are targeting the exact same high-volume family demographic, but as we're going to see, their visions for what a premium SUV should actually be could not be more different.
Let's move into round one, contrasting philosophies.
We're starting off by looking at the battleground of aesthetics and the interior operational environment. Basically, what does it actually feel like to interact with these machines? It really boils down to this idea, the luxury lounge versus the sleek mobile computing device. From the outside, BYD embraces a highly intricate, athletic vibe. It has these complex air intakes and striking headlights that actually draw inspiration from the Ferrari SF90. It definitely has a sporty presence. Tesla, meanwhile, doubles down on its aerodynamic minimalism. Their latest facelift introduces a Cybertruck-style front light bar, successfully moving away from the slightly fish-like look of the older models to something much more unified and sleek. But honestly, it's when you step inside that the differences really hit you.
Just look at exactly what BYD is prioritizing inside. I have to say, I absolutely love the positive emotion and the genuine premium feel this cabin evokes. It truly feels like a proper, traditional luxury vehicle. You get this massive 15.6-inch infotainment screen that physically rotates from landscape to portrait, which is just cool. You get a dedicated digital driver's display, meaning you don't have to look all the way to the center of the car just to see how fast you're going. And the materials? They're phenomenal. You've got abundant leather, swoopy surfaces, and brilliant tactile touches like cooled wireless charging pads so your phone doesn't overheat, and incredibly clever adjustable depth cup holders. It is literally a space designed to pamper you. Contrast that entirely with the Tesla Model Y. Their philosophy is extreme consolidation. Almost every single function is centralized into one single touchscreen. You want to adjust the mirrors? Touchscreen. You want to open the glove box? Touchscreen. And actually, testing noted that the glove box can sometimes get a bit sticky and require some brute force. But we definitely have to give credit where it's due. Tesla has vastly improved their material quality and build feel in this new facelift. Plus, they listened to feedback and reinstated physical indicator stocks, which is a huge, huge win for usability. And crucially, Tesla still holds the crown for superior cargo and storage packaging. The space inside is just incredible.
Okay, moving right along to round two, the energy architecture.
We're shifting the focus of our explainer now from the aesthetics down into the structural and technological heart of these vehicles. We're talking about the batteries. BYD uses what they call their E-Platform 3.0. And the hallmark of this is cell-to-body, or CTB architecture. So instead of just bolting a heavy battery pack into a frame, the battery cells are integrated directly into the vehicle's structure itself. In fact, the top cover of the battery pack is literally the cabin floor. This sandwich structure massively enhances torsional rigidity, and that improves both handling precision and crash safety. The trade-off, of course, is that the battery is no longer a modular, easily swappable component, which adds a lot of complexity if you ever need minor structural repairs to the floor pan. And the actual battery they're integrating, that's BYD's proprietary Blade battery. It uses lithium iron phosphate, or LFP chemistry, shaped into these long, thin blades. In standardized nail penetration tests, this specific battery demonstrates incredible thermal stability. It completely avoids the explosive thermal runaway fires that can happen with traditional NCM cells if they're compromised in a crash. It also offers a much superior life cycle. Ultimately, it's an architecture designed for ultimate safety and to last for decades.
But how does this all impact real-world driving? Well, let's talk about what the data calls the honesty gap. There is a massive difference in what these cars claim and what they actually deliver. The BYD Sealion 7, which uses a massive 91.3 kilowatt-hour battery, achieved 301 miles in real-world testing. That's a super impressive 96% of its claimed range. Now, the Tesla Model Y, which claims 353 miles, delivered 278 miles in those exact same real-world tests. That's just 78% of its claim. So BYD's brute force battery strategy really gives you a much higher level of trust in the numbers showing up on your dashboard.
Oh, and the Sealion 7's battery has another brilliant trick up its sleeve. It's called vehicle-to-load, or V2L capability. This allows bidirectional charging up to 3.3 kilowatts. Why does that matter to us? Because it effectively turns this luxury SUV into a mobile workshop or generator. You can literally plug in and power heavy-duty tools, camping equipment, or, an espresso machine right from the car itself. This is a highly versatile utility feature that's currently entirely missing from the Tesla ecosystem.
All right, let's get into round 3, mass versus momentum.
Now we have to introduce the physical limitations and the engineering trade-offs inherent in building these big, competing electric SUVs. If we break down the powertrain matchup, on paper, the BYD Sealion 7 looks absolutely dominant. It packs 530 horsepower compared to Tesla's 507, and it has a staggering 690 newton-meters of torque against Tesla's 494. But check out the 0 to 60 times. They are virtually identical. 4.5 seconds for BYD, 4.6 for Tesla. So how is it possible that a car with such a massive power and torque advantage doesn't completely leave the Tesla in the dust?
Well, the answer comes down to one single number: 2,420 kilograms. That is the curb weight of the BYD Sealion 7. It is roughly 400 kilograms, or nearly half a ton, heavier than the Tesla Model Y. This weight difference creates what engineers call a mass tax, and it has some very real consequences. Because the BYD relies on that massive, heavy LFP battery pack to get its range, it simply requires way more energy just to move. And you see the direct result of that on efficiency. The BYD achieves 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour, while the lighter, much more agile Tesla achieves a highly efficient 3.7. Plus, over the long term, pushing around an extra 400 kilograms means increased tire wear and a lot more stress on those heavy-duty suspension components. Tesla's focus on lightweight engineering just gives them a massive advantage in everyday operating agility. And that brings us to our final section, the verdict: economic viability. Ultimately, we have to look at the total cost of ownership and the bottom line value for you, the actual consumer. Let's impartially break down the pricing tiers. Right out of the gate, the Tesla Model Y remains the more accessible financial proposition. It starts at £45,000 versus the BYD's £47,000. But at the top spec, that gap widens significantly. The top-tier BYD Excellence AWD comes in around £59,000, which is roughly £7,000 more than a comparable Model Y. Now, the sources do note that BYD often sees dealer discounts around £2,000, which closes the gap a little bit. But honestly, when you factor in Tesla's lower entry price and its superior energy efficiency, Tesla puts up a really formidable economic defense. So, to synthesize everything we've covered today, it's a tale of two highly specialized titans. If you are someone who values traditional luxury, tactile buttons, a gorgeous and comfortable interior, rock-solid battery safety, and real-world range honesty, the BYD Sealion 7 is a genuinely phenomenal vehicle. It really is. But if your priorities lean toward class-leading energy efficiency, maximum cargo space, a lighter, more agile chassis, and an unbeatable price-to-value ratio, the Tesla Model Y firmly maintains its strategic advantage as the benchmark. And that leaves us with one final provocative thought. We've just watched an American tech giant and a Chinese manufacturing powerhouse trade blows at an incredibly high level of engineering. With this intense new standard of safety, luxury, and efficiency now defining the market, you have to ask, can legacy automakers even survive this? It's definitely something to think about as the industry evolves.
Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really appreciate you taking the time to dive into the data and learn with me. Until next time, stay curious.